All right, so we're just going to talk about example 3. We did not get to example 2 yesterday in class, so that was on yesterday's movies, so you're a little bit ahead of us. But anyway, so this says, on example 3, it says the ping pong ball was thrown 2 meters off the ground. So like I said, I like to draw a picture of what's happening in the real world. It was 2 meters off the ground, and the ball flew for 3 seconds before it hit the ground. So it flew for 3 seconds before it hit the ground. So I know this path, and it hit the ground 75 meters away. So this was 75 meters at 3 seconds. Okay, so 75 meters at 3 seconds. So if I look at this, it wants to know the parametric equations. So if I put the coordinate here, 75, 0, that's where it lands basically, and it flies for 3 seconds. So if I write my parametrics, I would say x of t equals the v times the t, and my y of t, we're talking meters, so that would be a negative 4.9 t squared plus, this is going to put v sub x, v sub y of t plus my starting height of 2, okay? So I do not know the velocities at all. I don't know them. But I think if I look at this, I think I do know an x and a y, right? So I can fill that in there. So, and I also know a t. So if I fill in the stuff that I know, okay, so I know that at 75 meters, so I'm going to do this right down here. Oops. Not that color, that's going to hurt people's eyeballs. So if I do this down here, I know that 75 meters equals v sub x times 3. So if I divide by 3, I know my v sub x is 25. So my parametric would be x equals 25t, because I found my horizontal velocity because I knew pieces of the equation. I highlighted the pieces that I knew. So now on my y equation, okay, I'm going to fill in the stuff that I know. I know that I'm at the ground at 3 seconds. So 3 squared plus v sub y times 3 plus 2. So if I look at this, these things have no numbers in them, right? Or excuse me, no variables in them. That was not what I meant to say. So I'm going to type in my calculator, negative 4.9 times 3 squared, which is 9, right? And I'm going to plus 2. And I get a negative 42. So, for some reason I moved that. Okay, 0 equals a negative 42.1 plus v sub y times 3. So I'm going to add the 42.1 to the other side. I put in the things that I knew. So I'm going to do 42.1 divided by 3. And my answer is 14.03. So this y equation is going to be a negative 4.9 t squared plus 14.03 t, because that's my velocity, plus 2, because that's where I started off the ground. And I said use a variable if needed, but I kind of just did all this work. And I think I stole these questions straight out of the book. So I put variables in there and then I solved it. So now it's easy. I just did all the work. Now it's easy to answer the questions. My horizontal velocity is 25 meters per second. My vertical velocity is 14.03 meters per second. I've already got the parametrics. I already did all that work over here. Way over here. So that was the work I was supposed to do, but that's okay. And then it says, what is the maximum height of the throw? So to get the maximum height, if I look over here on my purple drawing, okay, to get the maximum height, I need the times that it hits the ground. Well, I know one of my times is 3, but I don't know the other time. So I'm going to open up my calculator, and I'm sorry I can't show you both because we don't have the ability anymore. But I'm just saying, listen to my words. I'm going into my calculator. We did this yesterday in class. I'm going to menu, and then I hit algebra, and then I do polynomial tools, and then I find my roots, and these are all going to be a degree 2 because we're doing parabolas. And I'm going to type in my A value, which is a negative 4.9. My B value is 14.03, and my starting height is 2. And I'm going to hit enter, and it gives me, one of my roots is 2.999, which is the 3 that we've already gotten. So we already got one of them as 3, but it gives me the other one, which is a negative 0.136. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 times, negative 0.136 plus 3, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to do a negative 0.136 plus 3. Then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to divide by 2, and I got 1.432. This right here is the time, okay? And it should be below it. Sorry, I'm writing it above, because now I'm going to take that time, and I'm going to put it in to the y equation for t, because this will tell me the very highest it can be, because that gives me the path of the y's. Okay, so I'm going to plug that into my y equation, negative 4.9 times this number squared plus 14.03 times that number plus 2. So I do all of this, and I hit enter, and my highest, I have the eraser, I'm sorry. My highest is 12.04 meters, because I'm in meters, and that's how high this ping pong ball goes. Okay, so this was example 3. I worked 1 and 2 on the notes from yesterday. So if you need to go back and watch those videos, 1 and 2 were on yesterday's notes. I wasn't sure how far I would get, so I thought it would be better to have more. So if you need to still see example 1 and example 2, go back into the Google Classroom and look at yesterday's video. The examples are worked for you.